to another episode of the Bull City Bravest podcast. It's your boy, Tim McCoy, here with another episode. I got some friends that's near and dear with me here today. Today we have a two person episode. Like, this is the first one, first time we done it. So my first guest I'm going to introduce is my main man, Bryce, someone who's been making static, making a name for himself in the DFD.
Not even.
Bryce, Bryce is here with us today. Bryce, how you feel, man?
Feeling great, man. A little tired. Out there helping with the camps and stuff like that, but I'll never complain about it.
Hey,
it is another day.
Hey, man. Hey, kudos to you. For those that don't know, we've been having DFD. We're in camp season, so we've been busy with camps, and Bryce has been out here dang near every off day he's had. So, you've been out here with the kids helping out. Explorer camp went great. You was out there really giving them the full academy experience. It was a great academy.
I was trying to.
Hey, and off camera, I got my man Abdullah Glover. We'll bring him on camera here, but he's in the background. Another young whippersnapper out here, young gun, who's there you go. Look.
There we go. We pulled him up.
Wave to the camera.
He's waiting his turn.
Yeah. These young bachelors in the fire department. Oh, to be your age. I remember what it was like to be your age back in the day, man. But Patrick, how you feeling, man? You good?
Yeah, I'm good. It's we got a heat wave going on right now, man. It's been a crazy long couple weeks for us with these kids. Not ready for it to cool off.
Yeah, it's been a crazy couple weeks. A lot of energy used, but I'm thankful for guys like you and Abdullah. Abdullah's been helping out with the camp too. So the reason why we have a 2-for-1 is because, as you know, these young guys are so young. They don't have the salty stories as some of our retirees or vets have. So, maybe with them two together, we can have a whole full, episode. But we're gonna go with it today. So first and foremost, Bryce, before we get into that, real quick.
Yep. The
company of the day is Engine 3. I was never signed to Engine 3. This ain't even my hat. But I'm wearing it because I wanted to shout them out. I give Hazmat a hard time, but Engine 3 is part of the Hazmat team. They're a busy station, busy company. So I just want to shout out the fellows at Engine 3.
Yeah, you went a little hard on the Hazmat team in our last episode. I appreciate you making it up to them.
I didn't go hard. I just said
it is coming from the TR guys, so I can't even.
Hey, man.
Very technical.
I love Engine 3. We're going to go with that. I was about to talk junk. But listen, Bryce, let's start with you, man. Tell the people how old you are, where you come from, and how long you've been on the department.
Yep, I am 21 years old. Just turned 21 in January, so fresh out. It's funny because we've been having all these camps, and the guys that we've been going out with, they've been giving me crap because they be like, kids, and they be like, hey, they're talking to you, go and step up. So it's like, all right, bro, I'm about sick and tired of the same joke. But, yep, 21 years old, just graduated the academy a year and some change ago. So,
you only been here a year?
Only been here a year.
I feel like you've been here longer than that. Oh, this is going to be awesome. Okay, all right.
I have not.
I feel like you've been here longer.
Yep, I've been here a year. I graduated from the academy, went out to Station 11, and that's still my home station, but they kind of put me anywhere and everywhere that they can put in. And I've enjoyed it. That's kind of part of the new firefighter process. It's kind of like if you're on your home station, they just kind of send you places where they need to. And really the only quote-unquote sucky thing about it is like, having to get all your gear, get all your bedding, put it in, your car, go somewhere. But, I generally do enjoy, like, going to different cities and stuff like that. And generally when I'm sitting at stations, I try to figure out, like, okay, like, some streets here, some streets there, just, in case, like, okay, like, if I'm over there, like, okay, I have some idea of where I'm going.
Well, that's the life of, being a new guy. You get checked off, you get out your probationary stage, and now they send you to the wolves, and you get to go over and explore the city and check it out. So you said you've been here over like a little over a year, right? And now you're exploring the city. Is there a particular area, a station that you enjoy, like in your tour so far?
I enjoy anything that's busy. I'm not going to say, particular stations and stuff like that, but Like I have the mentality where it's like it's thrown me to the wolves.
It sounds like a cop out.
It's a cop out. I mean, yeah, you got your stations where it's like, you know, station 1, station like 1 through 5. You can't like it don't
Can't
get any
miss.
better than that.
You can't
It
miss.
don't get any better than that. That's where you're gonna get, you know, those type of calls. But you know, you got your 7s, you got your 9s, you got your 11s, your 12s, and then honestly, like the teen stations, I like those because like I feel like those people in that area know like, hey, don't call the fire department unless like things are bad.
You said what station?
Like the teens, like the 13s,
Oh, 13, 14.
Yeah, those
Okay.
type of stations. Like the teen stations, like the people in their district kind of like, hey, we don't call the fire department unless things are bad.
Right. Okay.
And it's kind of
yeah.
like, you know, those I call them like sleeper stations because it's like, okay, like they might not get like, you know, like 14 calls every day, but like when they get something, it's
Oh yeah,
like,
it's gonna be something. It's usually
gonna be
something.
Yeah,
They're not calling for a little bit of a little problem. They calling for something major.
Absolutely.
That is absolutely true. Now, you said you enjoy the inner city, and I mean, I guess it's a good time to tell them because we were talking the other day. You said you rode the 1, and what was your first experience with me at 1?
So this was second day, and second day, all of our rookies. I think that was the church fire. I kid you not, that was a big church fire.
That was your second
fire on
day.
Main Street?
Second
Second
day.
day,
Church
all
fire?
of us were out on A shift, and I know my experience. We were doing training and stuff like that, and it came out and Rescue 1 was like, yeah, this is a worker.
Oh man, that was your second day.
That was our second day out on A shift.
Okay, all right.
So I think most of my academy went out there except like me and another dude. And we were both. I think y'all caught 2 fires that day.
We got 2 fires
So
that day.
yeah, that was a pretty crazy day for A shift. But yeah, that was a fun time, and I'll tell you like the whole story, kind of reason why we ended up at 1.
Okay.
We were doing kind of like some mask up stuff. You know, it's first week and stuff, and they were trying to see, you know, what type of rookie they got. My crew has, and so I'll be honest, I was trash. Like I was dog, like messing up on everything. I had leaks going out, and my captain, he was like, "Yeah, man, like we're gonna get to work on it. That's perfectly fine, but you know, just keep working on it." And I was just kind of sitting there around like 5 and after dinner, and I'm like, bro, like I don't like being put in like a place where I'm like, man, I'm trash at this. Like I gotta work at this to get better. Like there's no way I'm sitting here like I'm trash. So honestly, like for real, what I started doing, I just grabbed all the stuff besides my air pack for my mask, and I just was masking up and stuff like that. And I guess I started doing it so much to where the bottom piece of my strap on the bottom, it tore off.
Okay.
And so Captain, he was like, shake my head. Well, we're gonna have to go up to station 1. And so we go up there, and you know, I'm new, and they was telling me, hey, like when you come across someone you haven't met, like shake their hand, introduce yourself for everybody. And so I met you, and I don't know, man. It's like with you and Fresh Meat, like you can sense like, oh, I'm about to mess with him. So you just started asking me anything and everything. He was like, who's the division chief? How many battalions we got? Like who's the captain on this truck? Who's the captain on that truck? And it's like, yo, it's only my second day out here.
This is my second day.
I don't know what I'm doing. Like, so, but I think I held my own pretty good. You tripped me up on a couple, but I was able to BS out of it. I was able to kind of.
You think you BS your way out of it? No. I know. So for me, whenever we get someone new, someone fresh, a lot of people say that it's been said that I mess with rookies. I don't mess with
It's
rookies.
been said or it's been known.
I think it's been. I've been accused of messing with rookies, but I don't really mess with. I'm really trying to get to know you and trying to get to figure rookies out because I'm gonna be working with you. You're new to the shift. This is my introduction to see where your head at.
Okay.
Now it's not my fault if you answer a question wrong, and then the wolves pick up on the question that you answer wrong, or you don't know certain type of information. That's not my fault. I'm just inquisitive. I just like to figure out, what you know, what you don't know. That way we can move forward.
For sure.
But I didn't realize it was your second day. Like the church fire, the big one, the big one off of Main Street. I can't think of the name of the historical church, but I can't believe that was a big fire. It was very hot.
Huge.
It was huge. Now I just want to backtrack just a little bit because before that, you had met me before that. And you keep forgetting that. You keep saying Station 1 is where you met me, but that's not where you met me at. Let's talk about how you got into the fire service. Like how How
Yeah,
did this become a career option for you? And then where you started off from?
So
Are you a Durham native?
born and raised in Durham.
Okay, all right.
Me and my family, we just moved to Graham last year. We've been in Graham for a couple months, but every other part of my life has been inside of Durham. I grew up on Pauli Murray Place. It's like, Pauli Murray, historical activist and stuff like that. Her childhood home was in my backyard. Like, I could walk out to my house and, like, go to her childhood home and stuff like that. I never did because I was like, yo, like, who's Pauli Murray? Like, I'm not worried about that. But, like, actually growing up and being like, yo, like, that's an historical individual. Like, I was like, yo, that's cool as heck. And it was in Fives District, and it was a pretty cool place in Fives District where it was Fives, but Station 2 could be there in a second. Station 1 could be over there in a second. 11 was in the cut.
It's one of those.
It was one of those stations where, like, literally all of these stations could be around.
Anybody can get there.
Anybody could get there and
first.
be first.
Yeah,
so
right.
it was like I go in stores, I see firefighters. I go to schools, they'd always be there and stuff like that, on fire alarms, calls and stuff like that. Just be out and about, and I would always see, and I was like, man, like, that's a cool job. But I would always tell myself, like, like, I can't do that. I don't see myself running into no fire and anything like that. Like, that's a grown man job. Then I went to school, and I wanted I'll be honest, my first plan was to become an architect. Like, I like drawing, I like, houses and stuff like that. And I was like, dang, like, I want to be behind the scenes, being able to have a project, and then once it's finished, it's like, yeah, like, I did that.
Right.
And then I went to school. I went to Josephine Dobbs, Early Clement. I went to Josephine Dobbs Clement, Early College High School on North Carolina
Central campus, right.
And then during that time, I found out a lot about myself, and probably the most important thing was I found out architecture was not for me.
That's important to find out early.
It was during COVID time, and COVID changed up everything, and that I was definitely one of those people that it changed up a lot for me. And I was there with nothing to do. I know what I was doing. My mom was on my tail, like, hey, like, what we gonna do here? Like, you done wasted about, 2 years of your college time. Like, you got to do something. And I was like, man, like, firefighting's cool. I'll give it a try, and started talking more. My second mom, Aisha, I call Miss Aisha and stuff like that. She knew Travis Melvin growing up. She went to science and math.
Every podcast, Travis names. Listen, if y'all don't know who Travis Melvin is, Travis Melvin is obviously a very popular person. He's been here forever. He's been here, I guess, going on 30 years now, and he's just like the guy in our department, very knowledgeable. He's a captain, one of those senior members, and he's also big with behind the scenes stuff with the department, polygons and everything.
The show
He's going to come on. He's actually coming July 3rd. But with that being said, that's who Travis is. He's coming. Well, he's coming in a future episode.
Yeah. And so she put me in contact with him, and I started talking to him, and he put me on with a guy by the name of Andre Knight. Listen, I'm terrible.
You did Captain Knight wrong.
Listen, I'm terrible. He knows
Captain Knight. All right, yes.
And he really was the one. Like, Travis was the one that got my foot in the door. But he really was the one that was like, nah, you're coming with me. Like, he said, hey, come visit the station 3. He said, do ride-alongs with them. He started asking me questions. Like, he was one that was like, hey, like, here's the fire department. I'm giving you everything that you possibly need. Mm-hmm. And so he was very pivotal in making sure that I was successful, throughout the hiring process, throughout the academy and stuff like that. And I'm still in contact with him now. And ever since then, it's just been up from there.
And so, how'd you end up at Redwood? How did that happen? Because that's where I met you at.
Absolutely.
The one that you keep forgetting about. But how'd you?
I don't try to put it past. Redwood, I got in contact with Andre Knight and a little bit of Travis Melvin because I did a ride along with Travis one day, and he was like, "Man, you want to be in the fire service, but you ain't volunteering right now. What type of sense does that make?" So I was like, "Man, you know what? You're right." So.
I'm sure he said it a different way, but
he said it pretty much the same way. Which, knowing him now, I got the light end of the stick. So, but I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go out, and so I started searching, and Redwood was the closest one to me. And so, I didn't know it at the time, but there is a crap ton of guys from Durham that go up there to Redwood, and that's how I came in and started meeting people, and eventually met you. So, yeah.
I guess I wasn't rememberable though. You didn't
were-
remember
were
anything.
pretty
I
memorable.
guess
it was
it
a dreads. It was a dreads, that part.
so
I remember the dreads.
look.
Hey Tim, do you remember the first time you met me?
That's a good question. I don't remember the first time I met you.
So you giving me
See, I
slack.
guess I wasn't very memorable either.
No,
That's
no,
crazy.
no. Listen, hey. Well, I think it's a little different when you're coming into the fire service. Like I think you remember certain people, especially people who took you under their wing. No, I'm just playing. I don't even remember. So this is how I knew Bryce. Didn't your sister bring you to Redwood?
My sister? Nah, my mom brought me to
Your
Redwood.
mom.
My sister was how old? She was young at the time. I mean, as you can see now, she's in the camp and stuff like that. But my mom used to first bring me, and then I got my own car, and I was able to just travel by myself.
Yeah, I met your mom. I'm tripping, but yeah, your mom. So I do remember you coming to Redwood, but how long were you at Redwood for? Because I don't.
I'm gonna be very honest.
Yes, please. 'Cause
Redwood was very much of a. It was during the time where I'm like, man, like I have to work. I very much have to work. Just got my car. My mom's like, that person was like, yeah, like, I helped you set up this car, but like, you about to pay this off by yourself. Like, now you about to be a big boy. So, yeah, so that's how Redwood kind of, I want to say it got in the way, but it was something else where I was like, man, like, I want to do this, but I have to do something else. Does that make sense? So
he didn't want it bad enough.
I'll be honest. During that time, maybe I did not want it.
No, I'm joking. So you got on. So you got onto the department, right? You applied.
Absolutely.
You got coached through the process. Did Travis and Andre help you throughout the process as well, or you?
I think not more so of a pass off, but I think Travis seen it like, hey, like me and Andre were cool and stuff like that, and just kind of let me like rock with him and stuff like that.
Okay, so you went through the process. How was that? How was that as a young person that never experienced the process? How was that? Like
The academy?
not the academy, just the hiring that process. Because a lot of people, because applying for the fire department is different than applying to like a typical like Kroger or
Absolutely.
another job, retail or something like that. How was that for you?
You want to be honest?
Go ahead.
Oh, it was simple. It was like any other interview. It was just like any other interview. And the thing with me is I never had a problem talking to people. Like even when I was young and stuff like that, my mom would always tell me she did not have to worry about me because she could drop me off somewhere and I would have 5 new friends within that week. Because I was always the type of person who was like, nah, like I'm very much a people person. I like being around people and stuff like that. So once I got in the hiring process, I mean, I'm a pretty smart individual. I ain't the brightest bulb in the box, but I shine. So it was very much of like, okay, like, I just got to lock in for real. Because like this is a job and this is something that I really want to do. So like I'm going to put 110% towards it. I did the written test. For me, it was pretty easy, I'll be honest. And it had some parts where I was like, yo, what they want me to do? It had some parts where it was like that. And then, you do the written test, and then you do the physical test. And like I said, I took it very serious. I think my first ever time doing it was like 6 flat. And I remember, I don't know if he remembers it, Jeffrey McMillan, the chief we got now, he was the first person to ever do my like physical agility test. And I told him, I was like, yeah, like I know Captain Knight stuff. He was like, you know Captain Knight? Oh, let me call him right now. So I'm like, whoa. I just said I knew him. Like you can chill for real. And he was like, nah, man, like I'm expecting big things out of you. Matter of fact, I'm gonna time you. And so we started doing it, and then like I guess I started getting the.
Was this a practice session or was this like?
This was like I think it was a practice session, and he did the real thing with me as well.
Okay. Oh, he got you.
He really can't speak, but that first time he was like, man, like you come in here with that same energy, you're gonna make it. So I was like, man, like I might have a shot. I still took it serious, but at the time it was like, man, I don't know if they're gonna take me serious or not, because I think I tried. Let's see, I tried Carbo first. They didn't take me. I tried Raleigh second. They didn't take me as well. And then my third one was, I want to say Chapel Hill. They didn't take me either.
Oh, hold on. Time out. I didn't see. So for me, when we talked about the process, like when I was talking about the process, when I said it's different, meaning most places you don't have to do a written test, right? And you don't have to do an agility test. So for me, And my experience from you is different because I really only had 2 jobs that I did at that time. One was like a part-time job, which was McDonald's. I did that young.
Absolutely.
And then after that, I did, once I graduated high school, I did construction for a second. One of the guys at Redwood, he was a contractor, one of the lead contractors for them. And he was like, yo, I can get you on with this company. So I did that for a while. So my work experience wasn't very vast. So my going into this process, just interviewing the process itself was foreign to me. It was different. I didn't know what to expect, especially with the written and the agility test. I wasn't nervous because I was in good shape.
Absolutely.
I was ready to go in that aspect. And I had some volunteer experience, so I knew that there was going to be a written test. I knew there was going to be a agility test, and I knew there was going to be an interview panel, but just never done it before. It was a different experience for me. So to hear your perspective is different as well. But you said you went through 4 other processes, or at least 3, right? So what happened with these? Did you pass everything? Got interviews or what?
So Carbro, I got all the way up to the physical part. I wasn't able to raise a ladder the way they wanted it to the point where like they were concerned like I was gonna hurt myself. So they're like, yeah, man, like unfortunately we can't let you through. Like try next year.
You was weak.
I was weak. Probably weak, more so weak in the mind and in the body. Raleigh, I got all the way to the interview part. I'm gonna really say with them is the interview wasn't an actual interview. That was during COVID. So it was limitations to how the interview could go. And I'm very much, like I said, a people person. So I like talking to people about me. I don't like other ways or resources that I like talking. You kind of get what I'm getting at? I'll be honest. Basically, the interview process for them during that time, it was you had to talk to a computer, and the computer would give you question prompts.
It wasn't a physical person.
It wasn't a
physical person. It's like virtual.
Person. It was
like a computer. It was a computer though asking you questions.
Yeah, and so it would be weird because they give you 2 minutes for each question, and it'd be some questions just like, oh, like I can answer this in 30 seconds. Keep it pushing. After you answered it, it wasn't like you could move on to the next question. For that next minute and a half, you just
staring at the screen.
And so, like, I'm at 18, 19. After I finished my question, I'm like looking around. I'm like knocking back and forth. I'm like, I know I look awkward on this camera, but like, I mean, like, can we please go to the next question? And there'd be some questions where I'm getting into it. I'm getting more in depth on my answer and stuff like that.
And your time cut off.
And I'm like,
yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah,
that's a wild process.
I'm not gonna lie. I knew it right after that. I said, oh yeah, I lost that job. On to the next one. And Chapel Hill, I think we went to Jamaica the week before, and that's when they had to practice stuff. And I wasn't able to go out there. And I told him, I was like, hey man, like, I'll be honest, I don't know what this course is. And he was like, hey, if you just follow our instructions to a T, like, you'll pass it. And that was the very first exercise. I picked it up and like they didn't tell me where to go, and I'm like trying to find cones, and there's so many cones everywhere. I'm like, I'm gonna just go to this cone. And they're like, hey, follow our instructions and you'll pass. And so they told me to go to these other pair of cones, and I'm like, okay, I'll go over here. And they were like, but man, you failed. So I'm like, oh, okay, well, I just failed. Well, on to the next one. So Durham was really the last one where I was like, this is going to be my like boom or bust. Like, I'm either going to make it in Durham and become a firefighter, or I'm gonna just completely throw my dream like out the window and just move on to something else.
Well, that's a terrible mindset, but
like, I mean, I'm 18 at the time. Like that's really kind of all I had at the time was like, hey.
So we were your 4th choice. You didn't really. Was Durham like okay? Was Durham a place that you didn't know much about the fire service? Mm. You had thought about doing it, you got in contact with, I guess, Traps or whatever. But Durham was that before or after you did these other ones?
So it was really more so a timing thing. Like it was like, okay, I want to be a firefighter now. Like I want to be in the academy right now and stuff like that. And when that interest came up, Durham had just finished their hiring process. So it was like, okay, let me see if I can get into other cities but Durham. Durham, it was like, okay, it's cool because I have resources in there. I'm from Durham and stuff like that. So that'd probably be, top 2 picks in terms of like, okay, places I would go. But it was like, nah, I want this dream now. Like, we're gonna figure out.
So you're just willing to go, just get your foot in the door.
Absolutely.
Go wherever. Now that you're here in Durham, or you're hired, right? Like, I'm
so glad it took me 4 times to do it. I'm so glad it took me 4 times, and Durham was like, hey, we'll take a chance on you. genuinely.
I mean, what is it that you like about Durham, outside of being from here? Like, what are some things that
It's a little bit of everything here. You meet anybody and everybody from here. You meet people from different states, different countries. Like everybody comes here, for the most part. Like you meet people that's like, oh, I'm from New York, I'm from Dallas, I'm from Maryland and stuff like that. And like I feel like everybody leaves their impact here, and you kind of leave with something where it's like, dang, I didn't know like what they had up there, and they're bringing it down here, and they're just kind of like just adding to that little pot that Durham has going on. Because you know Durham back then, Durham was nowhere what it was from now. So like that's the other thing I like too, is like literally seeing the growth. Like the way that Durham grows inspires me to be like, yo, if a whole city can do that, imagine what I can do for myself. And it's amazing, like genuinely amazing. Like no BS. Like I'm not on a podcast or anything like that. Like I'm proud to be like, hey, like I'm from Durham. Like I'll talk to people and they be like, where you from? And when I say Durham, they're like, oh, you're a Durhamite. Like it's just another city, man. But like I genuinely am proud to be from Durham. Like I wouldn't want to have it any other way, man.
Now, how long was your academy?
My academy was, I think, 9 months.
Mm-hmm. 8 months. All right. So what was your favorite thing in academy?
My favorite part, just doing the job, honestly. Like, this job, it makes you feel rewarding after you do hard work. Like, throwing ladders the whole day, hose week, good God almighty. Like, it altered my brain chemistry when, like, at 8 a.m. after doing, like, PT, some days be, pretty ordinary, some days be, like, pretty hard. And, take a shower, come back out during hose week. And it was something different about you walk into your gear room, you go and grab your gear, and you put your foot in your boot, and it is nothing but water in that boot. And this is 8 a.m., and from 8 to 3, this is your gear, and this is what you're gonna be in.
Yeah.
That changed my brain chemistry, and that made me go, I could put up with a lot of things. So that was my favorite part. It was grueling, but it was, looking back, that was some of my most fond memories. And just doing my academy mates, like for 8 months, like we all had a trauma bond. You could say like
trauma bond.
We was all knowing that, hey, like today could be the day that we could get fired. And I love the fact that we all took it the same exact way. To where
Did you lose people in your academy?
Oh. So
you were in the mass?
We were in the mass academy. So
mass exodus.
He lost people in his academy.
We lost. So I think we had around like we had
56. It was 56.
It was like 55 to 60 people start out first day. Graduation, we walked with roughly 25.
25.
Yep.
And that I tell people, I mention y'all academy a lot because when I'm showing people about the job and just talk about Durham, I say, listen, man, look, you gotta take this job seriously, because I feel a lot of times people come in here think because they went through college or whatever, they don't necessarily come in here take it as seriously. Absolutely. Like they don't take it serious, right?
Yep.
They come in think they're just gonna BS their way through it, and then by the time you're already one class or one strike down, you already behind the 8 ball, and you still got 6 months left, right? So from your perspective, with your class, how was that? Like just mentally seeing people really lose their job, and did that make you focus more? Did it
was always
strike
like,
fear into you, or what happened?
It was always like a check where it was like, yo, like this could really happen. Like they're not saying it to like put fear into your heart. It's like, nah, like if you don't do this, you can and will lose your job. So like, I mean, when you lose 40 people, it gets to a point where it's like, I mean, dang, we lost another one. But it was I think it was right before we switched over to fire, because I was in the academy that had EMS first and then fire. But it was like, dog, like we can't lose. Like one, we're about to like do EMS. Like we're about to finish it and be done with it, and then we go to fire.
Which one would argue is the harder part academically. It is the harder part.
Yeah, EMS is like, that's honestly where most of your people get lost. Like Captain Knight told me that too. He was like, yo, hit the books, because where you're going to lose your job at is EMS. Fire, I can see you're athletic, you'll be all right. You just gotta
fire. Yeah, fire side is more just determination, hustle,
Yeah.
As you grade out,
EMS, you can and will lose your job. And so that was really where we lost most of our people. I think on the fire side, we lost, 2-3 people. That was it. And I think that was like the first week of PPE and stuff like that. So after a certain point, like we didn't lose anybody until like the last week, which it was definitely like, excuse my first, it was definitely feeling, but it was one of the things where it was like, man, like, it reminds you, like, you can and will, like, this is a serious job, and you can and will lose your job if you don't take it to that level.
Yeah, I feel like, again, the EMS part, I think what I tell people is, EMS, we have these standards. Durham has a standard, and we're not going to lower the standard for anybody.
Absolutely.
But the other aspect of it is, with EMS, we're talking about people's lives. We're talking about drug medications, right? Dosage, route, all that stuff. And those are things that you have to know exactly what you're doing, because when you're out in the field, can be life or death for someone. It can change or be some type of reaction for someone that can end up being deadly. So that's why they're so strict on the EMS side. Now, you're 1 year out, you graduated, whatever. Tell me what your reality has been versus what your expectations. What are things that you thought it was going to be like? Like, is it living up to what you thought it was going to be? Is it worse? Is it better? And then tell me your favorite parts about the job right now.
I wouldn't say there hasn't been a single aspect where my expectations were up here and now they're down here. Like, for the most part, everything has either met my expectations or like exceeded my expectations. And like I said, this is not no bull that I'm on a podcast, I'm trying to look nice and everything, but like I had people around me telling me what the job was from the jump. Like, hey, Durham, you're gonna fight fire. Durham, you are going to go to structure fires and you're going to be aggressive, which we're not standing outside. You're going to have people going in and putting out fires. That's how it is. But you're not gonna get a fire every day. You're probably not gonna get a fire every week. You'd be lucky if you get one once a month. If you can get once a month, you're killing it. And that's kind of what was told to me. So when I came out, it was kind of like, okay, like, I'll get my fire when it eventually comes. And once I got it, it was like, oh, like I can take not having a fire every now and then, because I think it makes it even better. Like when you don't have one, once a week, when you have it, it's like, oh, like I don't usually get this opportunity. Like now it's time to go balls to the wall and just let loose. Like now is my time. And it was definitely like learning that. And I'd probably say my favorite experience is just like meeting different people, like not even just firefighters, like meeting different patients and, seeing the changes that they have going on and going to different districts and, hearing about certain patients and they'll talk them up. And then like 2 hours later, you're going to that same exact person. Yeah. And it's like, oh, okay, you're exactly how you were described. You act exactly how I've heard about. Like it's a real surreal feeling. I'll say that.
Would you do it again?
The academy?
The academy, would you apply to, like you said, Durham was one of your top choices. What was your other choice?
I'm very glad 3 cities let me down so Durham could pick me up. And I know it's kind of like saying Durham is scraps or anything, but I just wanted to be a firefighter at the end of the day. And I'm glad that, in a way, I was lucky enough for other cities to tell me no, and the city that really does this job at a really high level was able to say, yeah, we'll take you.
And what advice would you give someone looking to get onto the department?
It's gonna be all day, every day, especially in that academy. It's gonna be days where it's like, bro, like, what exact moments in my life did I do to get to this exact moment? Like, why am I sitting here right now, sore as a bitch, knowing that I gotta go in next day and do the same exact thing that made me sore 2 hours ago? Like, it's definitely one of the things where you have to talk to yourself every day and get up and say, this is what I choose to do and I'm going to do it. There be times where like I come home and like my mom be like, how was the academy today? And I'll just be like, huh. And walk to my room and she would not see me the rest of the day. I was like either head in a book or head on a pillow. One of the two things, or head in some food. Yeah. It was them 3 things. Like for 8 months, I'll be honest, like I was very focused and very locked in, but at the same time, like I really won't dare, because like it was like, nah, like this is now or never for me. So it's one of them things where like I want people to take it serious, because this is a serious job, and it is a rewarding feeling after those 8 months to know what you did and what your academy mates did, like amounted to something. Like you're about to go and do work in the city of Durham.
Yeah, I mean, you got 8 months. You're gonna lock in, right? 8 months.
Absolutely.
Lock in for 8 months, and you'll have a career. You have a career
years.
for years, right?
This, like even this 1 year, they always say like, "Yo, like your years are gonna fly by." This 1 year has flew by tremendously.
And you mentioned earlier, because we were talking. I was talking on a podcast with Jason Davis, and we talked about you talked about your bond with your classmates, right? The trauma bond. I didn't call it a trauma bond, but it is a bonding experience, though. You like just knowing you went through this academy with your classmates, and
Absolutely.
that's something you'll have for life with them. You're always going to be connected in that way.
And you got to think about it. It's different for each academy. Like it's stuff that your academy went through that like my academy be like, bro, what? Like, what are y'all talking about? Like, we didn't do none of that. And there's certain things like my academy did where like you look back and be like, well, y'all some weak folks. Like we couldn't do that. We did this, we did that, and stuff like that. Like it's a trauma. It's a good trauma bond.
Yeah,
not all trauma's bad.
No. It's just more so. It's more so. I mean, it don't have to be bad. It could be just a stressor. You went through academy. It's 8 months.
Absolutely.
It's a stressful situation for 8 months, and that in itself is trauma. I do want to ask you one more question before we switch up and get my man Abdullah over here. Do you have a call? I know you're fairly new in your 1 year. What's one call that just sticks out in your head?
That's hard. I ain't even gonna lie to you. Like looking back, that's pretty hard. Like I have fire calls where I'm like, that's memorable. I've been on extrications where I'm like, that's really memorable.
I don't need your like. It don't have to be your favorite, but just one when someone say, "Yo, did you have any interesting calls?" What's something that just sticks out in your head? One call that you saw or you went to. It don't have to be fire. It could be EMS. It could be extrication. Is there anything that you think of and you be like, "Yo, this one call. This was just crazy."
I'll probably say the most positive call, or the call where I'm like, man, like that's gonna stick with me, man. I was in my rookie period, and I went to Quint 11A shift with Todd Hoffman, Kevin Littlejohn, and Cameron White.
Great crew. Shout out to all of them.
Yep. And so, I'm trying to hang out with them boys. We're doing calls and stuff like that. And there was one day where it was like a 30-minute stretch where we were boom, boom, boom. Like we got to a call, cleared from that call, got to another call, cleared from that call. Like we're going from call to call across the city. And I think we had a gas leak in one of our most popular places. I'm not going to say it is because I'm superstitious, juju and all that stuff. We haven't been there in a minute. You're going to keep it like that. And we got a structure fire.
This is 11, right?
Yep.
I think everybody knows what you're talking about, but go ahead.
4230 Garrett Road. And if you know anything about 11, 4230 is one of them places where you're going all the time. Mm-hmm. And so we clear from that call real quick, and we get over there, and, those apartments are really, you can't really access them from off the road. So 2 hours ago, before we did all this, I'm all over the place. I'm terrible at storytelling, as you can see, but 2 hours
You're
ago,
fine. You're doing.
We did training on event. And
I think I was there that day.
You're
probably cutting on those buildings?
Yep, we were cutting on them, and during that time, like, I did all right. I'll say I did all right out there. Mm-hmm. I'm going to leave it at that. And so it was interesting when we pulled up, and Captain looked at me, he said, "Hey, we're doing vent. We just did this 2 hours ago."
Oh, it was a structure fire call?
It was a structure fire call.
Okay.
We're going to go up there, and we're going to cut a roof. We just did this 2 hours ago. I know you know it. Let's go do it. And so I get off the truck, and I'm like, "Cap, like, which side do you want me to grab?" He says, "Grab a 35. And so, I only been out for a couple of months, and, like, I'll be honest, during that time, that 35 was like, oh, I'm a little scared of this. Like, I'll put it up there, but I ain't the best of the best at it. So
35 ain't no joke, no.
30, it's not no joke. It's to the point now where I'm like, it's going to be work, but I'm going to get that bad boy up there. But back then, it was kind of like, I really wasn't confident in it. And so me and Cam were on the back, and we grabbed this thing. And it felt like we walked that thing for 2 miles with that 35, and we're on it. And I can see smoke coming from the building and stuff like that. And I'm like, yo, I'm going to be exhausted before we even get up on this roof. Like, what am I going to do if we actually get up on this roof?
Hey.
And so we raise it. It's me and Cap up on this roof. I'm masked up and everything. And we're cutting the holes. And, you know, the holes went pretty good. You know, we had smoke coming out of them and stuff like that. And what I remember the most about that call, about that structure fire call, is once we were done, I was, you know, locked in on doing my job, doing it well. And I turn around, and it is literally everybody from 4230 Garrett Road just watching us. And it was literally like a point where it was like, yo, like, I'm really doing this in front of, like, I'm inspiring people right now in a way. Like, people are like, yo, like, you just went up there and you just did, excuse my French, some cool shit. And so, it might sound a little corny, but, like, that's just generally what I was thinking. I was like, dude, like, I really did that in front of all these people. And they don't even know, like, the work we put in and stuff like that. They just seen what we did on the roof and stuff like that. And so I get down, and, you know, we're cleaning up and stuff like that. And Cam was like, bro, you'll never guess what happened to me. I'm like, what happened? He was like, I was putting one of the ladders back, and this little kid came up to me, and he was like, bro, y'all are so cool. And he was like, that right there is why I do the job.
That's
to
awesome.
Inspire little people like that.
That's
because,
awesome.
like, you don't know, bro, like, you probably maybe have inspired that kid to become a firefighter. And it's just like an endless cycle of inspiration to the point where, like, hey, like, you probably changed that person's life without even knowing it. Like, it's just leaving an impact on a person's life to where you real life, like, are a real life superhero. And that doesn't get any better than that.
It doesn't. And that is actually, you know, again, we're in the age of social media. That's one of the pros and cons of the job, though, because you can take that situation and you're screwing up. Absolutely. You got a bunch of people out here with their cell phones
Absolutely.
filming you, right? Like,
yeah.
it's just it could be inspiring for people when you do it right, but when you looking crazy out here,
yeah,
it can be embarrassing, especially if they got you on Facebook Live or something. Look what they doing, man! You see all these videos.
Yeah, in that moment where I kind of turned around and like looked back and like seen all those people, it wasn't like a thing where I was like, oh man, like I'm a movie star, and it was one of the things where it was like I'm serving these people.
Yeah,
like, this is who I do it for, like, because, you know, you just go to that one pace, you just leave it alone. Like, to have all those people come out, it's like, I'm supposed to make sure that you have a good day. Even when you don't have a bad day, it's my job to turn that around. Yeah. And this is all of y'all that I'm serving.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, man, that was awesome. I do, look, before we switch you out with Abdullah, there was a question left for you from I believe our last guest. Do you have
Jay Davis?
I think I know who. I think I remember what it was. But Patrick, you can correct me.
Yeah, we're talking about the question from earlier.
Yeah, he said. I believe he said, "Where do you see yourself in 15, 20 years from now? What's your goal?"
I was close. Where do you see yourself in 20 years, and what are you doing now to prepare for it? That's your question from Jason.
Man, that's tough. That generally is, because that can go in so many aspects, like a different station, a different truck,
like career wise. For me, I'll narrow it for you. Like, what's your career aspirations? Do you, like, for me, I wanted to be a chief when I first got on, and then I realized quickly I do not have any aspiration to being a chief. So what is your career wise? What's your career end goal? What do you see yourself as?
I want to be a captain on Engine 4. I want to be
very
a captain
specific.
On Engine 4.
Captain on Engine 4.
Absolutely.
You heard it here first. When he becomes captain, we're gonna play this clip back. I won't be on the department, but when he becomes captain, we're gonna play this back. I might be here though. I got some years left.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you could get there. We're gonna play this back though. That's wild. All right, captain on Engine 4. Why is that? Why Engine 4 specifically?
4 is one of them places where I have so much history. Like I said, Central, I went there for a long time, and then it's just certain places, like my mom has friends in that district, I have friends in that district. Like, it's places that, like, I've been on Engine and Squad where it's like, you know, we go there and I'm like, dude, like, I got my hair cut for years at, like, the house 2 houses down. Like, we're driving past Central, and it's like, I used to go to certain classes there, certain classes here. I used to work out here, homecoming and stuff like that, places around. Like, it's one of the places where, like, genuinely that holds a very special place in my heart. And I know, like, my 11 crew's like, oh, like, we can't get them off 4, but, like, 4 is generally one of them places where, like, I generally would feel like a different person serving it. You know, I feel like serving my city is important, but that specific district, that has a very special place to my heart.
Well, that's what happens when you get a little homegrown. you know, you grew up here. It's very holds a dear space in your heart. So that's to be expected. So that's a great answer. All right, so right now we're gonna switch you and Abdullah. So we'll let you guys switch up. In the meantime, I'll just sit here and look cool in the camera. I have glasses on today because the lights get very blinding here, just in case you can't see. And we're back. We're back at it. I got Abdullah Glover here. This is the man, the myth, the legend, Abdullah. Just, you know, we just had Bryce. He was over here sitting in the corner. I see you shaking your head to a lot of things, so we're gonna go through the same little series of questions for you. But real quick, give people your backstory, where you come from, and how did you end up in the fire service?
So I'm from Durham, born and raised. For most of my life, I was raised. I spent 3 years in Egypt, like 2010 to 2013. But outside of that, just from Durham and back to Durham. Grew up first on the south side of Durham, Parkwood, and then down the street from 18. And then the second half of my life, I grew up in East Durham on Driver Street, like down the street from old Station 3. And yeah, I mean, I just, for whatever reason, I had the desire to be a firefighter since I was a kid. Like, I was one of them kids who was like, the same things Bryce said. Like, I was like, yo, that's a cool, like, they the coolest people in the world. You know what I mean? And I felt like I couldn't do it. I felt like, you know, that's awesome, but that's not a job for me. It's not, as he said, like, that's a grown man job. I can never do it, you know? And, like, to me, that was a challenge, you know? And I got connected with some people later on, and they kind of pointed me back in the direction and, like, were confident in me to actually pursue the steps. So I remember one thing that happened was, as a kid, like, we was still Parkwood Volunteer Fire Department, and we just took, you know, a little tour up there, and I don't remember who it was. I wish I could remember, but I remember it was this tall guy, and he just put a Halligan in my hand. And he was like, you know, he was like, be careful, you know, this thing is heavy. And I was like, nah, I got it. And I held on to it. And I was just like, this is like the most awesome moment of my life. Being a kid, you know.
Just something like that.
Just something like that, bro.
Putting a Halligan in your hand.
And I didn't know what it was. I forgot about it. I forgot what the tool looked like. I just remember it was this long, silver, heavy thing, you know. And after I went to the academy and I realized, like, yo, I was holding a Halligan, you know? And, like, that little moment inspired me to just be like, man, this is, I want to be like them as much as I can when I'm older, you know? So, like, that dream was kind of always in the back of my head. Fast forward, years later, I'm in high school, and Captain Reardon was doing, like, she was still doing the pub ed stuff, and she had a booth set up, and I seen her. I passed by her like 2 or 3 times, and she kind of just sitting there. And one of my friends knew I wanted to be a firefighter, and she was like, "Oh, like, you should go up and talk to her." And I'm like, "Nah, I can't do it." And she's like, "But you need to go up and talk to her." And she's like, "Yeah, you know, actually, we got this camp coming up. You know, we have this junior fire marshal camp. You know, you should come out or whatever." And I'm like, "All right, like, yeah, I'm just trying to find some kind of experience. I'm trying to do whatever I can at this point. Because I don't know anything about the fire service, you know."
Right.
So I did that, and it was nothing like it is now. But that's where I met you, that first camp, you know. And at the time, it really was like a little summer camp. Like, we took little CPR classes and stuff, but they had PD come out. And I met you. I thought you was pretty cool. I met Chief Green out there and a couple other guys, and I'm like, yo, like, got to be on a fire truck. I'm like, man, this is awesome, you know.
You know what's crazy is your first. It might be your first day, maybe your first work period. He was like, "Hey, you remember me?" And I was like,
no.
"No."
I remember that. I remember.
Who are you? Like, I don't know who you are. And he was like, "Yeah, I was a junior fire marshal." And he showed me the picture, and I was like, "Oh man, that's crazy." And I was like, "Man, I told my wife, I was like, yo, kid from junior fire marshal is here. He got hired. That was awesome." Which that was cool. Which, like you said, it is different now, and
it's much better.
Much better. Yeah. Hey, so you talk about that, and I'm glad. Like, again, you're from Durham, born and raised, and you said, like, luckily for you in high school, you seen Captain Reardon, right? Mm-hmm. And then she kind of prompted you to this camp. You recently helped out with Fire Explorer Camp. Mm-hmm. Do you think that would have been something you would have liked to do in high school, like compared to the junior fire marshal? Not saying the junior fire marshal, because just explain like what you just, because he helped out with our Fire Explorer Camp. So I just want him to explain your experience as just teaching, and then just how that might have.
One, to answer your question, yes, I would have loved to. Like, man, man, it would have been awesome. You know what I mean? Like, phenomenal. Because that's really what I was looking for, truthfully, right? Like, I wanted to do everything I possibly could, get my hands on everything and experience as much knowledge as I possibly could to get me to the position that I'm in now. You know what I mean? And like, so the fire marshal camp of that time, it was more just like a city of Durham camp, but the one that we had last week, the Explorers camp, and I mean, even the fire marshal camp that we have now is still better than what I had. But like the Explorers camp, like, I mean, it really is like for this past year, it is a mini academy for children, It's a week long. They get their own gear. They get, somewhat sized, but they have to keep up with it. It's structured. It teaches them discipline. You know what I mean? It teaches them consequences for actions and rewarding them for their actions, right? I mean, the fact that we were able to take, a group of kids and in a day give them the basics of search, you know what I mean? Give them the basics of forcing the door and that kind of stuff is just like, and the fact that they have the capacity to actually hold on to that knowledge and like retain that, you know what I mean? And I feel like that's a very important age to impact that, because as you saw, we had kids who just graduated who were 18 and they're going to be able to make some of those decisions, right? That might lead them, even if it's not to Durham, to a different department, but somewhere in the fire service.
I think it was very good exposure for them, for
Absolutely.
us. Like, I'm gonna be looking out for some of those kids. Like, it's no different than trying to recruit kids. If we were a sports team, like I felt like we got quite a few that would be great. They put on some more muscle or just they had that mindset. So I do appreciate you and Bryce both helping out in that aspect, and everybody that helped out, because that was our first year doing it, and hopefully we just get better year and year. So
most definitely.
I just wanted to get your perspective, because you did go through a former camp, and I just want to see how that was, seeing that you did it this year, actually instructing. Now, you go through the camp, and you got the bug now, right? Like you want to do it for sure, right? What is it that what was your next steps?
I don't remember who I talked to, but at that point, I think I started looking at like trying to volunteer at somewhere. And the place I landed at was Lebanon, and that didn't last long, like, cause this was right as kind of COVID was happening. Okay. So I literally went out there for like 2 or 3 Mondays or whatever their training day was, training night. And same thing, right? Like, I'm just like, man, to be around these other firefighters, like be, around the trucks and like going out there for their training. I mean, they flowing water from the deck gun, and I'm just like, yo, this is the coolest thing in the world, like, so I did that, and then like by my third one, they canceled all of it, because COVID, like the lockdown happened. And after that, I kind of just, I was like, all right, well, it's not meant to happen right now, but I was still trying to be on track at the time with finishing my associate's degree and my bachelor's, actually, like trying to finish my school. And I ended up just kind of started working, and around 2021, I was working at the post office, and I realized like I was just in the motion of just working, and I'm like, man, I don't want to do this. I still want to be a firefighter. This isn't what I want to do for the rest of my life. And I'm not going to school right now. And I saw the academy process open back up, and I was like, all right, like I'm gonna apply, because I'm not going to school right now anyway, so I might as well. And that was pretty much it, we started in the end of 2021, and actually yesterday was our academy graduation date. They made 3 years.
Really? Congratulations, man.
Shout
3 years
out
in,
33,
3 years in.
All 100% attrition rate, you know what I'm saying? We all still here. So,
shots fired.
Some people can't say that,
Bryce, what's up, man?
But
He said 100, not 50, 100.
It was only a couple of us, but we all still here, so all still.
I'm about to say y'all all still
everybody, bro. It was only 4 of us, bro. Like, hey, it don't matter.
Man. He said 4 people. I thought you had more than that.
I wasn't gonna say that you were part of the 4-person academy. I was gonna let that sit.
Yeah. But so, I love it. I don't regret my decisions in the slightest. I don't regret coming to Durham. Like, to me, and that's the other thing, was Durham, there was never another option. You know what I mean? Like, to me, growing up in Durham, all I ever saw was Durham Firemen. That's all I knew. I never thought about applying to a different department. It was just like, yeah, I want to work in the city that I grew up in. I want to serve the people that I know. You know what I mean? Which is a good thing and a bad thing, because something I didn't think about and didn't realize until after I joined is like, the same way that you're serving those people that you know, like you run into those people that you know on a call. You know what I mean? And sometimes that can be hard. You know,
That's something That's something I want to dig into because that is something that you run into. Like
and you don't think about it.
You run into ex-classmates, you run into people, family members, you run into people, and then it's like we're not the cops, right? So we don't have to worry about locking people up. But sometimes you see them in vulnerable situations, or you see them in situations you might not want to see them in, or you might have classmates or people reach out to you, be like, "Hey, can you tell me what happened on this call?" Like, whatever. And you, because of HIPAA and everything, you can't share that information, right?
Yeah.
But they're leaning on you because you are someone they know, right? So a lot of times those situations, I try to help them out as much as possible, but with also not trying to violate anything I can't violate. But like how helping your community is great, but it also has its flaws too, because when something goes wrong, the first person they're gonna reach out to is the first fireman they know, and a lot of times it's you, right? So, do you have you ever had any like real conflict or anything where you had to? It was like tough for you to deal with, or it's all been pretty lighthearted for the most part?
Not conflict in terms of like me like giving up information or anything, but like I wouldn't even call it conflict. It's just it's the feeling that you have inside of you of seeing people that you know on a call. You know what I mean? Like, and seeing them at as you said, in a vulnerable state, or just a position that you don't care to see them in, and you may not have known it was a problem. You know what I mean? So like you get a call and like, you know how we kind of the mindset we have of like, all right, this is a breathing problem, so I'm going to address it. This is an overdose. This is what I'm coming off the throat. This is what I'm going to do. And then you have a game plan or whatever, and you walk up and it's like, oh, like I won't expect it to be you, and this is like, so it's kind of like a step back. It throws you off because now you have like a different emotional connection or attachment to this person, and so that can be a little tricky to kind of maneuver
to navigate.
Yeah, but it's a part of it, and that is a part of that's a part of working in the city that you grew up in or you live in. The flip side of that, in the same sentence, I say though, like in that situation, in that predicament, I want to be the one to respond. You know what I mean? Like if it's my family member, I want to be the one there.
Right.
You're going to treat them with the utmost. You know what I'm saying? Like you already should, but you're going to treat them with the utmost. Because there's at the end of the day, it's a career, but it's a job, and just like any job, you got people who genuinely care and they're going to be good and they actually put forth effort, and people who don't put forth as much effort. And I don't want those people responding.
It is that flip side, because again, in some ways, it does offer that comfort for them. Like, hey, I know him. I know he's going to do what he needs to do. He's going to make sure my family members straight, or they're going to be straight. And sometimes it adds comfort, even with the camps. Like one of the kids from the camp last week, I went to school with his mom, and she was like, yeah, I know he's going to be straight. Like, I know you here. I know he's going to be straight. Yeah. So you do have those things. So that is the enjoyable moments and things that you take pride in and like. So so you came to Durham. You said Durham was like really your only option because you just wanted to work in Durham and serve the community you're in. Now, you get into Durham, right? You get into the academy. Was the academy like an eye-opener for you? Was it what you expected? Was it...
Nah, it wasn't. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro.
What was you expecting?
Bro, I don't know what I was expecting, but the academy was rough. Like it was rougher than I was expecting it to be, right? Because especially we were the last academy to get our AAMT certs. So like it was 8 months long, 4 months of EMS total, 4 months of fire total.
It was still 8 and it's only 4 y'all?
Yeah.
Why was it? I wonder why it was only 4 people.
Well,
I don't know much about that academy.
Yeah. But the EMS portion, like, it's your first 2 months is basic, you know what I'm saying? And then the second 2 months are advanced. And like as Bryce said, like during the EMS portion was the roughest. Fire was fun, you know what I mean? It's physically tough, but other than that, you know what I mean? Like it's just the EMS portion is so mentally tough to have no kind of, experience with that stuff, with EMS, with healthcare, Medicare, or the medical stuff. And to just have to kind of like get done with your basic in 2 months, and then you turn around and you go into advanced and do that in 2 months. And it's like the advanced book is probably like, I kid you not, it's probably like that thick. You know what I mean? The basic book was that thick. And to do it in the same amount of time is just like, it was just rough, man. It's just constantly you're studying or you sleeping. You know, like for those 8 months, I didn't have a life, especially for those first 4 months. Like you get off, you leave the academy, you go straight home, and you know you might take a nap, eat something, whatever, and you back in that book for a couple hours. You go to sleep, you wake up, you do it again the next day. You know, like that's all my life was. Because you're so worried about, you know, you failing out or you losing your job or whatever else. So it's just like you have to stay on top of it. The fire portion wasn't hard, you know what I'm saying? As I said, it was physically challenging, it was physically demanding, but like overall, when we got the academy that I was in truly together, which it started out with 6, and we did EMS first, and then we went to fire. We still had all of our 6, but when fire came, we dropped 2. So it only ended up being 4 of us. So when we dropped those first 2 people, bro.
You just said, you know,
attrition, bro. My attrition rate, attrition rate, meaning that by the time we came out the field 3 years ago, we still got.
I'm thinking about you ain't lose nobody in the academy. Yeah. I'm about to say, hold on now. That's what. So just for clarification, they had 6 people in their academy and they lost 2. They still have all 4 that graduated now still on the department. That's what. Okay, because I was like, bro, y'all ain't lose nobody in the academy. That's rare.
We were supposed to have, that's all I'm gonna say. But yeah, we lost 2 during the fire portion, early on in the fire portion, and when that was taken care of, having 4 people during fire for like forcible entry for ladders week, you know what I'm saying? For all that, it's rough, bro.
I bet.
Rough. Like it was, kid you not, there was more instructors out there than there were us. You know what I mean? Like sometimes it was like 2 instructors to a recruit.
No breaks.
So it was rough, but like that part was probably the roughest part. But outside of that, it wasn't super physical.
Why did we only have an academy for 6 people? You know what the reason was?
So the reason was they said that there wasn't enough funds for because we were part of Academy 32. We started out part of Academy 32. So Academy 32 got hired first. We all went through the same testing process. They had money for Academy 32. And then they called back later on, was like, oh, we got some more funds. We got this, we got approved or whatever for our budget. Do y'all want to start? Can y'all start in August? So originally it was supposed to be 12 other people that they called. I was one of those 12. But only 6 of us actually accepted the job offer at that time. The other 6 had taken other positions, did whatever, weren't interested anymore. So 32 was finishing with fire in November. And we joined up with 32 and did EMS together with 32. Okay. So we had like a joint academy. So at that time, it was almost 40 of us total, you know. But then 32 graduated in like February, March, I think, because they finished their EMS. So when we finished our EMS in February, March, we went on to do fire for another 4 months and graduated in June.
Okay.
Yeah. So
okay, I got it now. I'm tracking. Mm-hmm. So who are your training academy captains?
It was Captain Valans, Captain DY, Captain Young, and Jackie Ford.
Okay, so y'all had different training captains because Bryce, I know you had Hannum and them, right?
And
Carlson and
Captain Menace. It was
yeah. So it's funny because you said for you EMS was hardest, and fire was physically more challenging, but the work-wise, EMS was harder. Mm-hmm. So for me, I'll tell you a story about me and my academy. So for me, it was like the opposite. For me, EMS was easy. Like EMS was just an easy part for me. I had a great instructor, Brian Perry. So, he made EMS fun. And
you know who your best instructor was at the time.
he made EMS fun, and that was cool. We also didn't have to do advanced though. So ours was just basic. Mm-hmm. But one day, I was at Redwood, and they used to tell us, yo, don't go to any of these volunteer stations while you're in the academy, because this exact reason I'm about to explain. So I'm at Redwood one day, and I'm just shooting the crap with the guys and girls there, and I said, hey, they was like, how's the academy? I said, the academy's cool, man. It's, slight work is easy. I said, it'll probably get easier. I mean, it'll probably get harder when we get the real instructors or we get to the real portion of the academy. Now, what I was trying to say was...
messed up at Aaron. You messed up now.
What I was trying to say, it was no disrespect to Brian Perry, but what I was trying to say was, when we get to the fire part, I imagine it's gonna be more physically challenging and harder. And bro, the next day when I got to the academy, we walked in a room, and on the room, Brian Perry had all his certifications listed. He had all 30, 40, whatever. It was a long list of certifications. And at the very bottom, he says, but according to Tim McCoy, I'm not a real instructor. And at that point, my class was like, yo, what did you do, bro? Like, what's going on? And we got smoked, man. We got smoked so bad, man. We got smoked so bad. And the dude that snitched on me, man, he was supposed to be my man's, man. He's
always supposed to be your man.
Man, he's supposed to look out for me. He set me up, man. Set me up for the okie doke. So we did a lot of push-ups for that, man. So
Words,
kids, watch what you say. Even if you feel like people are cool in the fire department, there's always someone listening. Word can get back because we got smoked.
Yep.
So you go through the academy, right? Graduate. Where'd you go?
5C with Captain Cookie, Basani, and I had 2 senior firefighters, T-Tom, Terrence Whitaker, and Skippy, Jacob Gregory.
And how was your time at 5?
Phenomenal. Oh, cannot forget Chief Baker. I had Chief Baker was my battalion chief. He was in the house too, but it was phenomenal. You know what I'm saying? Like, them guys, have so much love and respect for them guys because they made me who I am. They started off that career. You know what I mean? Like, they really took me under, especially T-Tom, Cam Cookie, Basani. Like, they really kind of molded me. Captain Cookie, he set the standard, so we trained a lot, but it was always fun. You know what I mean? It was always enjoyable. And at the time, especially, I believe, like, if you have a rookie or if you are a rookie, you should be training to that extent. You know what I mean? Now, I also believe that you set a game plan for the day, and when you're done with that game plan, when you've accomplished what you need to accomplish, whether that's at 11 a.m. or 6 p.m., you know what I mean? That's a whole different story. But like, that's what we did, like we had game plans and we accomplished what we needed to accomplish for the day. We trained a lot. We ran a lot of good calls. 5 is a very busy house, you know what I mean? Especially with Duke. Like, I feel like 5 kind of gets slipped on because of 2, you know what I mean? But like 5 like goes to Duke a lot, like, in my opinion, too much. You know what I mean? Like, I ain't like that. But 5's district is very diverse, in my opinion. It has one of the most diverse districts in the city between all the different building types. And just to kind of, you have parts of Cornwallis, a very small part, but then you also have parts towards like 605 West End going towards downtown and stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 5 is a very diverse because you have your you have Hope Valley, right? You cover some of that.
Yep.
Then you cover the West End.
Yep.
Then you got some of downtown. Like, you have a very
Duke
you have
itself
Duke.
is different. You know what I mean?
So
Like, it's just a whole different.
y'all hit everything.
Yeah.
You hit. Upper, middle, lower class. You hit all types of demographics in 5. So 5 is a sleeper station though.
It is. It really
and
is.
they used to have the medic truck in there. Was the medic truck there when you were there?
Nah, I had battalion chief.
Okay.
Yeah, I think medic truck had been gone for a little second. But yeah, I mean, I love my time there. I have nothing but good things to say about them guys. It was an enjoyable time. So it definitely shaped me to be who I am.
Now, after you left 2, where'd you go?
5. After I left 5, after I left 5, I went to Engine 1 or Station 1, Engine 1. And I was out there for about a year and a half with Captain Travis Melvin. My driver at the time was Tyler DeStasio, and I was the firefighter in the back. I think officially my senior firefighter was like Barrett Beasley, but like, he wasn't there. He had just got moved somewhere. So like, Caleb Sharp, man, shout out you, bro. Like, he took me under his wing. You know what I mean? He made sure I was solid in a lot of places. And at that time, I was fresh out of my probationary. Like, I just got checked off. You know what I mean? So 6 months out. And I was up there with some great guys, and same thing. We trained a decent amount, but being on Engine 1, being on, at Station 1, like, regardless of what people think about it, you run some good calls. Like, you're going to go to some good stuff. You'll get some experience. So I feel like
I feel like you got the Station 1 arrogance that you had. When I was up there, you and Cage, y'all young whooping snappers, man. Y'all was over here, man. I felt like y'all was smelling yourselves. Y'all, you know.
Maybe Cage.
They had the little muscles. They was on engine one. I said, okay, they got the little muscles, man. Nah, I am joking. Like I said, respect to everybody at one, man, because being one it's not an easy station to be at.
Easy.
It's always a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
There's a lot of high expectations when you're at one. I mean, there's expectations at every station, but especially when you're at one, it's just that just it has that legacy and the reputation that they want to keep. So they are high strung there. So
so I did that for a little bit. I did the squad for a couple months, squad 1 up there.
Get that, man. You gotta keep the squad.
Then I went to ladder 6 for a couple months, and then I transferred to Engine 4B shift, and that's where I've been since October.
So who's your captain at for?
Captain now is Anthony Kenner.
Kenner. Mm-hmm. So what, like, you're an engine guy? Would you say you're an engine guy, ladder guy, engine guy?
Ain't no ladder
why
guy,
you engine guy?
Bro, it's just not for me, man. Like, it just ain't for me.
What about you, Bryce?
Engine all day. Engine all day. I'm on a Quint. They gonna give me crap when they see this, but there's holes in that truck for a reason, and we need to use it.
I like fighting fire. Like, I want to be inside on the nozzle. That's what I want. I don't care to be up on the roof. I don't care to be cutting no holes. I don't care to be seen. You know what I mean? Like, I want to be inside, surrounded by fire with the nozzle open. That's it, bro. That's what I want. That's what I enjoy. So, yeah.
I mean, listen, y'all seem like y'all have your heart set on being engine people, but something about that skew, that ladder work, all that ladder work,
Man,
it's important.
You have higher probability of going to fires because it's less units.
That's true.
So it's just I just like those trucks.
Probability of being on that nozzle though.
And it's more challenging to me.
I will agree with that.
It's more challenging.
Sure. Engine work is very basic. You know what I mean? Like, it's the basics of it. But that's in
the words of Richard Ray, Chief Ray, he said, "But you got to put that fire out."
You got to put that fire out.
Hey, don't nothing matter if you can't put that fire out. You need that engine company. So they like to say engine work is the Lord's work. So I ain't going. I feel like every part is important. So what's something that I guess I'll ask both of you because I didn't really get to ask Bryce, and Bryce, you can kind of say, and if I'll repeat what you say.
If you want to,
you have to
get to a point where like just me and Abdullah on the mic, so we can just.
I mean, you can. I can talk in the background. It don't matter. Yeah, we'll do that. So I'll ask you, and while we do that, I'll try to get a Bryce opinion too. I'll go stand over there by him or something, or he can come over here. What is matter of fact, you come sit here now. What is something that you do you have any hard lessons you learned in your first couple years on the fire department?
I definitely do. I just got to think of them. I would say one of them, like, I feel like this goes for anybody, right? But like, listen more than you talk. You know what I mean? Especially within your first couple of years, like, you really should kind of just be a sponge in terms of listening. You know? Now, with that being said, take everything with a grain of salt. You know, because not everybody. There's many ways to do something. You know what I mean? Don't mean that it's always the way. But you should definitely kind of, just be quiet, sit back, and just listen. Just be a sponge. You know. That's definitely one of my, I would say, big ones. And sometimes I don't feel like I see that problem with a lot of people, but there are definitely a couple people out there. It's just like, hey, bro, like, relax.
What's a lesson you learned? Like, what's something that you had to learn your first year being on a department, or within your first year?
I've learned a lot. I think probably the most important one is don't kind of be so fond on necessarily meshing with a crew. Try to figure out ways where you can add onto a crew to what they don't have. I think when we get out in the academy, we go to our assignments and stuff like that, people are always like, dang, like, how can I get close with my crew? Like, how can I mesh with them? How can I get to a point where, like, they go on a fire and they trust me to, like, hey, like, I'm going to get the job done. And that's kind of a problem that I had when I first got out there is, like you said, my crew is, like, everywhere I go, and I tell people who my crew is, like, bro, you got a good crew. Like, you're squared away. Like, you're good. And so, like, hearing that, it was like, man, like, I got some expectations I got to go up to. And I was so worried about that to the point where it was like, I forgot about, hey, I got expectations for myself. Let me get that out the way first, and then I can start building myself up to everyone else. So, like, it'd be certain days where, like, I just didn't do good on something, and I just beat myself up to it. And it'd be like, dang, like, I just tell myself, like, dang, I just suck. But then this got to a point where it's like, hey, like, I'm only a year in. I'm building to something special to where, like, I can say, hey, like, I'm a good firefighter and stuff like that. And once I started focusing on just taking everything step by step and focusing on myself, eventually got to the point where, like, my crew was like, oh, no, man, like, you have grown a lot. And it was because I focused so much on, like, hey, just step by step, just slowly making sure that I got everything squared away to the point where it's like, hey, like, now I can start thinking for myself, being a little bit more on my feet. Like, everything just came with time. And I think that's just kind of the biggest lesson is, like, hey, like, don't be so gung-ho on making sure, like, you and your crew are good. Like, y'all mesh together and stuff like that. Figure yourself out first. Figure what you like. Figure out what you like and what you're really good at, and figure out what you need more work on. Everything will come after that.
Tim, you can ask me your questions over here now. You switch cameras.
Yeah. We bite. The other question I have for you is, what is something advice you'll give to someone looking to get into this career? What's something they should know, either before joining, or what's something they should research before getting into this career?
You want to go first? I'll go first.
Go ahead.
The money. This is not it can be a 6-figure job, but first starting out, this ain't gonna be the job where if you're doing it for money, this is the job to come to. This is the job to where you're gonna do work, you're gonna fight fire, you're gonna do your job, and you're gonna be expected to do your job. Research the money. If that's something that's important to you and stuff like that, I'll be very honest, this job ain't for you. It's just not. There are other jobs to where that can come in the importance of it, but this is a job to where it's about work, nothing more, nothing less.
I'd say research the area that you are interested in going and applying it to, right? Research the department, research the city, just kind of get a feel of all that. And it'll be hard to gauge that if you don't have anything to put it up against, if you don't have a measuring stick. But the more you start looking at different departments or departments you've heard a lot about, you can use that as a measuring stick, right? Like if you know a little bit about the fire service, if you've heard of Detroit or Baltimore or, FDNY, Chicago, something, and you're kind of able to pair whatever department it is that you're looking at, by population, the size of the area, you know what I mean, the municipality, and the department, the amount of calls they go to, what kind of calls they go to. Look into that depending on what it is you're trying to get into. Some guys genuinely get into this job and they like EMS. That's what they want to do. Absolutely. They don't mind doing it. You know what I mean? That's cool. But like, know that, right? Know how many EMS calls versus, how many technical rescues, how many, fires for that department, that kind of stuff. You can look that information up for a lot of places. So know that. And the other thing that I would say that's probably more important in my opinion is to realize that this is a job of extremes. You're going to have very high highs and you're going to have very low lows. You know what I mean? Like
very low lows.
Like I can't tell you how many times, you're kind of just sitting there, like you'll get comfortable, like being on shift and living your life, whether that's eating, you're using the restroom, showering, taking some chill time, whatever. And like the next thing you know, sleeping, and the next thing you know, 2 minutes later, you're staring at a dead body or you're dealing with a difficult call. And it's just like, be aware that that's a real thing that you might have to deal with, that you're going to deal with, and how are you going to deal with it, and then 2 minutes later, from dealing with a traumatic call or something that's messed you up or something that's been hard to process, you might be back in bed sleeping. You know what I mean? Like, that's just part of the job. It's like, it's a job of extremes, So to be aware of that, because it's something I heard about, but to actually experience it,
yep,
is different, So that's what I tell people all the time. It's like, it's a job of extremes,
Yep. Kind of another thing that came up in my mind too, we've touched on it plenty, but resources. Not just getting into the job, but once you're on it, like not only keep those resources, but build onto it. I had Captain Knight kind of put me into it, but after I got out the academy, I've made plenty of friends to the point where like outside the academy, like I'm good now. Mike Burton, Jared Ream, Bracey Chavis, Joshua Davis, like I'm kin with those guys to the point where like you said, like if I have a low, like I'm calling those guys right now ASAP, and it's like, hey man, like I just had this messed up call. I'm having a messed up work cycle. Like I just need someone to talk to and stuff like that. And like these guys will joke around at the fire station and stuff like that. Like we will act like little kids at this fire station. But the moment where you reach out to those guys and like they hear you say those things, everything is serious. And it's like, nah, we gonna fix this up, big dog. Like literally, man.
It seems to be very family oriented. I mean, like we say, it's always we call it the brotherhood, not literally as just brothers, but this is family here, so that sounds great. Now, one, I'm gonna direct this to you, Abdullah, because I don't think I asked you this. What's Do you have a memorable call, or do you have a close call since you've been on? Either one of you. I'll ask both of you. Have you guys got it? I think I asked you. Did I already ask you, Bryce? It's like,
I don't think I have a close call.
so do you have Abdullah? Do you have a close call? Memorable call?
Um. Yeah. I remember this one time I was on squad one, and I'm dealing with this patient who had gotten stabbed, and I'm holding pressure on his neck, and they're sitting there like rightfully so crying and wailing and like oh, like please don't let me die, and I'm riding in, and I remember thinking in my head like, all right, well, you talking to me, so I ain't too worried, but I'm over there trying to like kind of console them, you know what I mean, like everything gonna be fine, you're gonna be okay and that kind of stuff. And we weren't far from the hospital, and for whatever reason they had their eyes closed. I don't know if they had a wrap around their head or what, but I just remember their eyes was closed. And then like as I'm consoling them and like just trying to talk them through it, you know what I mean, like they stop out of nowhere and they're like, you sound really cute. I was just like,
that's a close call.
Yeah,
is that,
a close call, just a memorable call.
Okay.
You have really sexy voice. You sound really cute. And I was just like, bro, it took everything in me not to laugh, bro. Like I just turned around. I'm like, I just gotta turn around, and the medic beside me is over there like dying laughing beside me, and I was just like, bro, what is this right now, bro? Like you gonna be fine. Like you gonna be straight.
You'll get calls like that.
Yeah, you will. It's just the most random stuff, bro.
Of calls like that, like the person could be going through the worst day of your life, and they'll look up to you, and it's like, did you just forget like you going through this crisis in your life?
You forget, you really messed up
it's
right
not
now,
about me, bro. Like.
Yeah, that was a memorable call. That wasn't close. I can't really say I've had any close calls for real. I can't think of any.
What's kind of? Well, go ahead, Tim.
Well, I was just saying, it sounds like I mean, y'all, it sound like y'all two sex symbols or something. I don't know.
Shooting your shot with an open wound in your neck is crazy.
Shooting your shot with the open wound is crazy.
Bro, I respect the game.
You gotta know your time.
Let's see. So I guess I'll ask you a question because Bryce was already asked a question. My question for you is, what would you be doing if you weren't in the fire department? Like, do you know what career you would do if you weren't?
Likely the military. That was like a close number 2 for me for real. I really wanted to join the military. I still do, you know what I mean, but gotta see how some things play out first, But yeah, I don't know. It was always fire service, and then it still is my backup plan, to be honest. I'm not gonna lie. It's like join the military, But if not for the military, I really don't know. I don't know what I'd be doing. I'm not gonna lie. So.
And something I didn't ask. I tend to forget to ask this question, but a lot of people have part-time jobs. Do either one of you guys have a part-time job or hustle?
So I work at a bakery. It's called Bull City Bake Shop. It's right on 15501's district. Right between that border of 11 and 16th district. It's on that district off Mount Moriah. It's in the little parking lot with Home Depot and Kohl's. So I'm a man of promotion, man. Hey, we sell good stuff. We sell good stuff. We sell about anything and everything. And if you want some good stuff, come get it.
What's your favorite thing to make?
My favorite thing to make, I know I keep saying, you know what? My favorite thing to make there, probably the carrot cake. I made the carrot cake there before.
So you like a legit baker? Like you really bake? You be out here really whipping up pies and cakes and stuff like that?
I wouldn't say legit, but I'm on my way around the kitchen. I'm on my way.
What about you, Abdullah?
Mine ain't that interesting. I work at Volunteer Fire Department part-time in Orange County with it's a bunch of phenomenal guys from here that work out there. So I work out there, got on out there, and then I have another part-time job at a rock quarry in Cary, driving trucks. So,
You're not gonna tell them, yeah, other job.
Oh man, my man put the emphasis. He put the emphasis on phenomenal. Well, look, man.
POP.
yeah, no, it is. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Hey, we hiring. Eno's hiring, and they got some phenomenal dudes. Like a lot of guys that I have a lot of respect for here. You know what I mean? Before I knew that they worked out there, just great guys through all 3 shifts work out there. You know, so it's a little bit of a takeover out there. But yeah, I can't say enough good things about truly.
Well, look, man. I do appreciate you guys is coming on and giving the young men's perspective. You are the 2 youngest to be here. State your ages for me again.
20. No, do that again because I accidentally had the mic turned down. Tell us those ages one more time.
23.
21.
Producing the end of this podcast has been interesting. Hey, speaking of, since y'all are the ones wearing the mic, you want to close out the podcast for us? Say thank the viewers for watching, listening, and end this since me and Tim are back.
Thank y'all for tuning in
Always.
to another one of Bull City's Bravest, and catch us on the next one.